All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ashley Room. We've got what I think is a really interesting announcement today, and it has to do with New Bedford's connection to the sea. As you know, we've been talking about for certainly the last couple of years. We have made an emphasis on New Bedford's connection to the sea as being not only such a huge part of New Bedford's past, but essential to its future. New Bedford is a city by the sea. It's the reason why its connection to the sea is the reason why New Bedford exists, and I firmly believe it's the reason why, and the basis why New Bedford will thrive in the long run. And so we've placed a special emphasis on things that we do very well: fishing, now offshore wind, growing cargo, recreational boating, and also facilitating the connection of our city to the water. If you look at today's paper, the news about the State Pier is part of that. We really want our downtown to connect to the water, and I think there are all sorts of benefits that will accrue from that. But it's also the case that other parts of our city have to connect to the water. As you can see from the map, and I'll go into a little bit of detail in a second, New Bedford has a very long coastline. And its connection, its coastline is a huge asset. Some of it's an industrial asset, some of it is a quality of life neighborhood asset. And so in that vein, in my now two State of the City addresses ago, I announced that we would formulate an integrated corridor of waterway paths that ring the city. We've been working, when I got into office, we began work on the HarborWalk, which has been a huge success. Lots of people have gone out, lots of people have taken photos there. I think it's enhanced the life of the neighborhood in a big way, and has drawn people into the city, and it's been met with rave reviews, and so we're very proud of that. But we also had the same idea on the Clark's Cove side to put a walkway and bikeway up there as well. And the idea being that that neighborhood, all of South End, had been cut off from the water for 2 generations, and it was about time that we figured out a way to bring people down to the water, because who doesn't like a water view? Who doesn't like to take a walk or a bike ride by the water? So that's what we've done. So we've, through some really good design work, spearheaded by DPI, and work with the Army Corps of Engineers, we're able to pull off both. The HarborWalk was funded by city money primarily, and the Covewalk has been funded through state funding, which we were able to secure, and so that's near completion. And so, but we're also looking at developing the RiverWalk and the north end. Now that has a longer timetable. Of course, that is a project that has to follow the EPA cleanup, which is taking some time. We're removing the EPA through its funding from a settlement with AVX Corporation is removing a great deal of the contaminated sediment along the river. But that is going to be another huge amenity for the north end. So what you end up having with all these segments and the existing bike paths in the south end and Fort Tabor Park, Fort Rodman Park, is you have the elements of an integrated corridor. And we thought that it made all the sense in the world to integrate all of it. Integrate all of it and to brand it and to make it a thing for New Bedford, so that people understand that New Bedford has this great public, great recreational amenity with a terrific brand. So over the last several months, we've been working on that idea. Like, how do you integrate all of this into something that will enhance the quality of life in neighborhoods, but also lend itself to drawing people into the city? And so this is what we've come up with. This integrated trail, which is depicted on the map, and you'll see it's in blue for a reason, and you'll see the connections in green to the city's park system. Through the work of Dagny Ashley and tourism, and you'll hear from Dagny in a second, and Mayor Raposa and parks, and bouncing it off of the likes of the New Bedford Beautiful Committee, as well as others, The suggestion came that we should call it something, and what we're going to call it, after going through all sorts of permutations of names, is to call it the Blue Lane, which makes all the sense in the world. It's blue, it's a lane, it's a by the blue water lane, right, Joe? So so we believe that this will be a strong selling point for New Bedford's connection to the sea, a recreational amenity that connects up not just parts of the south end, not just the downtown, not just the north end, but all of it. And we think that in the years to come, that this is going to be a very strong selling point, and we've come up with an icon to promote it, which you'll see, you can see up on the map there. So, and actually you see it right there too. So that's today's announcement. It's the establishment of this integrated system, much of which has been constructed. Some of it will be constructed in the years ahead, and the brand that we will tout and drive and drive and drive, so that people know it's not going. You don't even have to call it the New Bedford Blue Lane. They'll know it as the Blue Lane, and that's something that one can follow in New Bedford, Massachusetts. So I think it'd be a great way to to make our neighborhoods more attractive, and to bring tourism into the city, and it's something that I think everybody will be really proud of. So with all that, I do want to thank lots of people. I want to thank Christina Connolly from my office, who helped shepherd all of the effort over the last year or so. I think it's been a very consuming experience, and involving lots of people. Dagny Ashley, of course, and I'll introduce Dagny in a second, who'll be charged with promoting the matter as well. But we appreciate all of her input, as well as, of course, Mary Raposa from Parks. This is part of our park system, and Zeb Baruta from DPI. DPI has done a fabulous job in engineering so much of this, and we've gotten. I think one of the things that's really striking is that we were able to pull all this off in fairly short order. The HarborWalk, once we had a design, got up and running, and DPI did a great job with that. And when we designed it, we also went ahead and designed the Covewalk, so it was shovel ready, which made it all the easier to get state funding like we got. And now it's all coming together. So, and I want to thank the City Council, of course, and Joe Lopes in particular, who's been such a huge champion of this effort. And this is what I'll leave you with, and I'll ask Dagny to say a few words. I think people might look at this and just assume, be surprised that New Bedford has this, that somehow a recreational amenity like this is, because recreational amenities like this are ordinarily associated with wealthier communities. I feel very strongly, however, that this kind of amenity is for everybody. It doesn't have to be so that these things are only left to wealthier communities. This is going to be a safe, family-friendly, attractive public amenity that is going to really be yet one more reason why people will come to New Bedford. And we couldn't be prouder of the effort that went into it. So with all that, let me call up Dagny to say a few words about how this will be promoted in the months, weeks, years ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for coming today, and I want to thank the mayor very much for his continued vision for the city's future. Many years to come, I can see our grandchildren and great-grandchildren going along these walks and talking about the Blue Lane for years to come. So I thank you very much for your dedication in the city's future. I also want to thank Zeb Baruta and DPI and all of the city departments, Mary, Christina, for a major contribution to the city and the creation of this Blue Lane. HarborWalk and Covewalk, and soon to be planned RiverWalk with all of their hard work and dedication. And again, thank you, President Councilor Lopes, for all of your support. So we're so excited, yet another way to promote the city, promoting the Blue Lane and our waterfront attractions and all of our marketing and promotions for the city. This branding of the waterfront and branding the recreational pathways is yet another marketing tool in our toolbox, which seems to be getting bigger monthly, which is amazing for me as a marketer to increase that marketing tool. So branding this as a city's unique shoreline pathway is going to be huge for all of our advertising and our promotions. We've been actively promoting in the last year and a half, the HarborWalk since its opening, and have gained regional and national attention with editorials, advertising. Last year, we created a new rack card promoting the HarborWalk, Fort Tabor, the beaches, the parks. And this year, we plan to update that and incorporate the Blue Lane in all of our marketing and promotions. We distributed this to visitor centers near and far. We've received, TripAdvisor reviews, editorial reviews on the HarborWalk, which has been doing really well. So I know that this is just going to add to that. We plan to do lots of fun and engaging ways of folks engaging into the Blue Lane activities. We're going to do some promotions, some social media. We're also planning for some new videos this summer, so we can incorporate in all of our marketing and promotions. The Blue Lane is an attractive, fun, engaging, beautiful New Bedford asset for adventure seekers, sightseeing enthusiasts, event organizers. I think both residents and visitors will agree that the Blue Lane is unlike any other shoreline destination. Together with Mary Raposa, Director of Parks and Rec, we look forward to luring event organizers to utilize the Blue Lane, use the HarborWalk and the Covewalk, and soon planned RiverWalk for recreational and sporting events. We also plan to seek current special events that can incorporate the Blue Lane into some of their planned events that they have now and use that in their planning and their promotions. So we think this is a unique way to add to a lot of the promotions and marketing that we're doing right now. We've added the Blue Lane to our website already. We've included the map, the logo. We've talked about all the different walks and pathways. And you can visit that at destinationnewbedford.org. So I thank you all for attending, and we're very excited about this as another marketing tool to promote the city's brand. And we're looking forward to a great summer. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Daniel. All right, questions?
What's the overall length of it?
What is the overall length?
Add it up.
Yeah, it's
So
long,
the
it's long, it's
HarborWalk-
long.
The HarborWalk is 3,400 feet long,
Yeah,
and the Covewalk is 3,700 feet long. So
we can get you that factoid. It's probably about 10 miles long,
Is it
but
appropriate for bicycles on the whole length of it?
yes,
Okay.
yep. Taylor? We do the Socratic method. You didn't have your hand raised, but I'm calling on you anyway.
I'll come up with one. What's it gonna take in any rehabilitation or anything like that, just to get it ship-shape for?
Well, so the southern portion is pretty much done, right? So the Covewalk is just about done. And if you sort of follow it along the peninsula, it's all there. There is probably some work that will be done on Gifford Street, which will connect it up to JFK Boulevard. The length of JFK Boulevard up to downtown is about to start, right? That is, a couple of weeks away,
Yeah.
right, from beginning construction. And then you'll have from the downtown up to Coggeshall Street, that'll probably be done in the next year or so. That's gonna be on street, on the bike line along Herman Melville. And then the river walk is going to take time. We're gonna start construction of part of it in the next year, but as you get up to the northern part of the harbor, well, the upper harbor along the river, a lot of that is just gonna have to wait for the EPA to do its thing. I think people should understand that, people have been asking about that project, but it doesn't make sense for us to be building a path that might have to be dug out as part of the EPA remediation, right? In other words, we build a path, but the EPA says, well, we've got to dig some PCBs out of there, and then you have to rip up the path. It'd be a waste of money. So, and then it'll terminate up at the Acushnet Sawmill Park, which was established just a few years ago. River's End Park was established just 2 years ago. So there are elements of doing lots of work at Riverside Park, of course, and lots of work at the beaches. So there is a lot of public investment that has gone in all along the corridor.
I know you like apps. Is there plans for like an interactive app, seeing as they're?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. That'll be part of the promotional effort. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yep, go ahead, Ed.
What about potential connections to the Fairhaven bike path and/or perhaps in the future the Dartmouth bike path?
Yeah, so that's a good question too. So the Dartmouth bike path, you have, if you look at sort of the other, the western edge of the Covewalk, Cove Road goes all the way up to Bliss Corner and connects up to Dartmouth Street in South Dartmouth. So that's an easy connection there, just as it is to along Rockdale Avenue all the way up to Butwood Park. So there's a direct bike lane connection there as well. And then as far as Fairhaven goes, as you can see, it goes downtown. You would go up the bike ramp downtown to the bridge, and then it's a short ride over to the Fairhaven bike path, and pretty straightforward. So yeah, so this does link up with other bikeways across the region. Josh, did you have anything?
Will there be any police patrol during the summer, during the busy times? I know you
Yeah.
have police on bikes downtown, but will
Yeah.
they be on the path?
Yeah, I think that's something that we could do. We haven't really had any incidents at all on the HarborWalk, at least nothing major, but I mean, it's certainly something the police would keep an eye on. If you've gone down to the Covewalk, you see that we do have a very visible camera presence over there, so that's security is certainly a big part of that as well.
So security be maintained throughout the whole?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's it. And then we have some, we've got some tchotchkes, right, at some point.
They are coming.
Yes, like water bottles,
Water bottles, some window decals.
window decals, so you can put them on your Cadillac, so the blue lane decal, Taylor.
The blue Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, get your water bottles. So anyway, so that's the idea, guys. That's what we wanted to announce today. So you'll be hearing a lot more about it. But again, I want to emphasize that this is a pretty neat thing, and there are very few cities that have something like this. And then when it comes to the Covewalk and HarborWalk, there really isn't anything quite like that in the United States. Like New Orleans has bike paths on top of levees. If you go to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, there are bikeways along the Susquehanna River. But there's nothing quite like this in terms of a long, uninterrupted corridor, elevated corridor along the water in the HarborWalk and the Covewalk. And I think that's, those are really the anchors of the whole system. So it's pretty neat, and this is something that, we need to be in the business of as a coastal city. We want to maintain, our industrial assets and strength in the main port, and this scheme allows for that. But to the extent that there are most of the shoreline can accommodate marine industrial work, we want to make sure that our neighborhoods are well connected to the water, and that's what we've had in mind. All right, guys. Thank you much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.